I'm so excited for this. I'm going to be completely honest. I'm freaking nervous. I'm so nervous. So
Why? Don't be nervous. Don't be daft.
this is my first ever interview, and I'm like, it's with someone who I literally grew up like idolizing. I'm like, oh my God, I'm a little bit speechless,
What's your
but
first ever interview? That's cool. You'll be good, man. You'll be good.
amazing. Well, I'm very
We'll
excited.
just have a chat.
Amazing. Perfect. Perfect. Well, shall we crack straight into it then?
Let's have it.
Amazing. Well, Louis, thank you so much for joining me. Willandwoody, who I work with, were very, very, very kind by sending me down because they knew how much of a big fan I was of yours. So I wanted to start off by asking you, I know this is a bit of a rogue question, but do you believe in signs?
Oh no, I don't. I hate to burst your bubble. I
Oh,
don't. I should have just lied and said yeah, eh?
you know what? I might change your mind though. I think I'm
Go
going to
on, what
change
you
it.
got?
Okay, so today's my birthday. So
Happy birthday.
thank you. It's my birthday. It's the 23rd of July. On the 23rd of July, One Direction was formed.
Correct.
When you guys, I'm going to cast your mind back to when you guys did video diaries back in the days. I thought it was a really good idea when I was younger to do video diaries in response and like ask questions. And I in my brain was going to send it to you guys. Obviously, it didn't quite get there. Your loss, unfortunately. But for your birthday on the 24th of December, I actually sang you happy birthday one year. Here, I've got a little bit of audio to show you this beautiful
Amazing.
singing.
Amazing.
Here we go.
And happy birthday! Today's Louis. Oh, you just found out. So happy birthday, Louis. Happy birthday to you. You live in a zoo. You look like a monkey. And you don't smell like one, too.
Can you hear it?
Okay, I just
Can
wanted
you
to
hear
say a massive happy birthday. It's your 22nd birthday, and I'd like to congratulate you to getting
I can hear
this
it now.
old. That's my brother Fletcher. And I just think it's a great job you've got so far. Well done with your life. And happy birthday.
It was your 22nd birthday, and today's my 22nd birthday. So
The stars are aligned.
they've aligned. It's all meant to be. It's all meant to be. But I wanted to ask you, when you were first getting into like music and getting into this career, did you ever have a moment where you met someone who was like you looked up to, and it was like that moment, kind of like what I'm having right now?
I think for me, it's probably come most commonly in my career when you work with a really great songwriter, and I don't really want to single anyone out because I've been lucky enough to work with a lot of great people, but especially when you're in the room with someone who's got a really good sense of melody,
Yeah.
and especially obviously as a songwriter myself, that's really, really inspiring. So yeah, probably one of the many songwriters I've worked with.
I love that. And it's kind of crazy that now you're like in this area where people are coming to you for your lyrical abilities and amazingness. And it kind of leads me into like, obviously your tour is happening at the moment in Australia, sold out in Brisbane, sold out shows in Sydney and in Melbourne. Wild, amazing. How's it been touring from like with 4 other guys to by yourself?
It's been amazing. Honestly, this has been the best year I think I've had as a solo artist. I've really, really enjoyed it. I mean, the process is obviously different from touring with the band versus touring on my own. But also I'm a bit older now, so the experience is always going to be a little bit different.
Totally.
But yeah, I can't complain. It's been absolutely amazing. Are you going to come down to any shows?
I would love to come down to a show. Like
Nice.
I'm planning on getting some tickets to the Tuesday show because I wanted to get them when we like pre-COVID, but then all the lockdowns happened, and obviously, like you said, you got into 2 shows, right? And then you had to cancel. Like, what was that like? What?
Well, it was bittersweet in a way because it was teasing. It was frustrating because I
Yeah.
wanted to carry on doing the rest of the shows, obviously. But it stopped me from, because for years, I've been wondering what tour might feel like. And even though this tour has surpassed my expectations, even from where we started before COVID, it just gave me a taste and a better understanding of what it was I was going into, and stopped kind of any worries or anxiety.
Yeah, totally. And like now you're in this area where you're able to do it all again. And I know you're by yourself now, like touring by yourself. I have to say, have you got any more perks in comparison to when you were touring with the boys? Like, surely getting a bigger dressing room now.
Oh, I do actually. Yeah, I didn't actually notice that, but yeah, you're right. I do. What other perks might there be? Well, it was before in the band actually. The best room, the best hotel room, used to get shared around. You know what I mean? Whereas
Really? So now you get the best hotel room every single time.
happy days.
Oh my God, that's heaven. That's absolute heaven. In your dressing room, speaking of, do you have anything that you have to have when, like, in there before a show, or like a specific lolly?
I'm really shit with my rider, to be fair. There's some random stuff on there. Like, there's always cereal in the dressing room and I never eat it. Random. I should probably have a think about what I actually need. But...
You make the most of it. I reckon you should milk it. Like, get some, like, fresh cakes in there or something.
Fresh cakes?
Yeah.
Wow,
I'll make you some. Yeah. I'm a good cook. I love
Keep the ideas coming. Don't worry about
it. Also, I wanted to know as well if you had any, like, pre-show rituals.
Not specifically. I mean, we all kind of get in a little huddle before me and the band before we go on stage.
Yeah.
The band that I play with. But nothing too specific, really.
Yeah. A little like 1, 2, 3, woo!
Exactly, you know it.
I love that. And so earlier you were saying how, like, you've come into your songwriting, and obviously you were one of the people who had out of the, when you were in One Direction, who had the most song credits, like, when in terms of, like, writing. You've obviously written your last album as well, Walls. How has it been in terms of, like, where you draw inspiration from now in comparison to when you were in One Direction?
I think writing for One Direction was very, very different. It wasn't that it was super specific, but because it was me as part of a band, it was kind of easier to kind of have this, like, bird's eye view over every song without really climbing. Because the thing is about being a solo artist, you're overthinking every lyric, every melody, everything. Whereas, of course, you were conscious of that in the band, but it's just a slightly different feeling.
Yeah, totally. Have you ever gotten to, like, the last stages, like with Walls? Did you ever get, like, to the last stages and you had, like, that one lyric when you're like, nah, that needs to change, guys, that just doesn't work?
That's a difficult one as well, because there's also something to be said about what's been written in the room on the day.
Yeah, true.
And sometimes there's a bit of magic in the room, and that's another thing. It's very easy to be over analytical with the words that you've chosen, but actually there's something to be said about just kind of owning what you did in the room on that day.
Yeah, I love that. That's amazing. And so I've heard rumors that you've got some new music coming out. Have you got anything that we can look forward to? Like, have you got a little clip? Can you give us any hints on what we expect to see on this next set of music you drop?
I think I'm definitely a lot more confident as an artist, as a songwriter, a lot more confident about this second record than I was the first. In terms of, like, any hints, I've kind of instead of thinking about too many other opinions, I've kind of just tried to follow my heart in this record and make something that is going to stand up at the live show.
I love that. That's really beautiful. And, like, get that real crowd feeling where they're up and about.
Yeah, well, I'm so blessed to have such amazing energy at my shows. It's just about giving the fans an album now that kind of doubles down on that idea.
Yeah, totally. And, like, speaking of crowd energy, I'm sure you've seen some pretty crazy things at your shows over the years in One Direction and your time touring this year on your world tour. What's some of the wildest stuff you've seen happen while at a show?
Well, the fans often do. They have their own little projects that they do, and I think, like, they chat on, like, social media, and they organize these little things that they do. So either, like, holding up signs or doing, like, cool shit with the lights. So all of that is always really impressive. Takes some, like, level of organization, that shit.
You know what's really funny that you say that, the whole organizing thing? So I used to have a One Direction Instagram account called 5 Crazy Monkeys. Yeah. And so the whole time, do you remember when No Control just had this massive boost in, like, songs? And I just remember seeing it all over Gram. Everyone was, like, posting, like, let's get No Control to #1. I was a part of that. I was a part of that era, and it was I just the energy that the fans have and the dedication they put into it is just insane, and I just love it so much. I can only imagine how you feel.
It's funny you mentioned that around No Control, because that was something that was very poignant for me in One Direction. Obviously I think that was maybe the first song that I'd like sang the chorus on, and like I was like lead on the song, and that was a big moment for me, and I really, really felt that support from the fans. So to say that you were a part of it, nice one. Thank you.
Oh, no, thank you. And honestly, like, it's really nice that we got to see your voice come and shine through. And now it's like having that moment where you're there, having your own hot solo album, and you're doing your own tours, and you're able to express your own creativeness within that. It's pretty freaking amazing. Like, very, very well done. So congratulations on a side note.
Thank you.
I did want to actually ask you, during my vlogs that I mentioned a little bit earlier when I was, talking to a room of absolutely nothing and no one was replying, I did have a few questions within them. I was wondering if you mind we go through some of the questions my 13-year-old self had for you.
Definitely. That sounds funny, yeah.
Perfect. All right, first one. Do you keep your bedroom clean or messy?
Very messy, unfortunately. I'm not tidy at all.
Do you still have your childhood teddies?
No. I couldn't even remember what it was, to be fair. I mean, I must have had one, but no.
Yeah, love that. What do you do to keep yourself entertained on the tour bus?
PlayStation. Do a little bit of PlayStation.
Wow, so can you have a PlayStation on a tour bus? Like there's...
You can. Yeah, modern technology.
Wow. God, that's mind-blown me. That is a fun fact for the day. Have you ever painted your nails?
No,
that's fair. And what's your favourite thing about Christmas?
Just being with family.
Yeah, I love that. Oh, I love Christmas. I actually had a follow-up question to that. Was in the UK, is Christmas a big deal? Because around that time I was like, oh, I wonder if they actually have Christmas lights in their like streets, or whether they just like sit in complete darkness during Christmas. Like, what was I thinking?
No, yeah, we do embrace Christmas. Yeah, it's massive.
I love that. And I want to wrap this up with this is a cheeky request, and I'm not going to lie, it's come not just from me, but Willandwoody, who I work with, who fortunately sent me here, have told me that I need to ask you a specific question. I'm like, okay,
go on.
I've got to do it. I'm riling up. So, you know how I mentioned earlier, it is my 22nd birthday. And you know how I mentioned I sang you happy birthday for your 22nd. And I know, I'm sorry, you didn't get to hear it as when you turned 22, but it was the thought that mattered. It was the thought that mattered. Louis, would you please sing me happy birthday?
Here's what's going to happen. Come to the show whenever you get the chance. I'll sing it live for you.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay, it's a deal. I'm coming. I'm going to be the girl with the sign, and it's going to be held up, and it's going to say, Louis, it's Annalise from Willandwoody. Sing me happy birthday.
Perfect.
I love that. Thank you so much. Hey, Louis, this has been amazing. I really, really, really appreciate your time. I appreciate the energy and the fact that you've even allowed me to come do this. This has been a real big thing for me. And yeah, I'm probably never going to forget it, to be honest. So thank you so much.
Well, thank you for your time. And by the way, you smashed that interview, man.
Oh, thank you so much. I had a few moments where I was like, where are my words going? They eventually came
honestly,
out.
you did amazing.
Thank you so much.
I've had a lot of shit interviews, and that wasn't one of them. So yeah, nice one.
Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate that. That's honestly the sweetest thing.